have a fantastic life. Do it on purpose. Get out there and you choose what you want to do and make it happen, and make sure that you use that life to make a difference to someone else in the world.
This podcast encourages and empowers you to create your own unique real story, develop your own unique real statement, and discover your own unique real self. The power is yours. Good morning, Jill McCulloch. Previously, episode 669 of the 12-Minute Convos podcast. It's been just 2 years, 10 months, 28 days, 19 hours, and 15 minutes since we last had that recorded conversation.
To reiterate, you're never too old to try something new. You may as well be yourself, everyone else is taken. So make the effort to find out who you are and what you really want, so that you can have a go at getting it.
That was then. This is now. Jill, how are you doing today?
Really? Has it been that long? I am really good, thank you. Angel, how are you?
I am excellent as can be. It's such a great pleasure to reconnect with you, to find out all that's going on in your world. The last time we spoke, coaching was definitely something that was part of your world. Has that evolved?
Yes, I've been coaching 15 years now. And I am still working with organisational leaders to fulfil their purpose for themselves and their organisations. And I'm increasingly working with heads of charities. And it's quite a joyful thing for me. I've always done it, but I'm actually tiptoeing more and more into that world now. And I'm a qualified marketer as well. So it's also about enabling them to connect with businesses, to empower them to co-fund, co-produce, work closely with businesses to support the business, but also to support them to move their charity forward. So yeah, I'm talking to charities about that, which is really exciting.
That's wonderful. I would think that it's really to mix the purpose with the understanding that without getting the money in, the non-charitable organization wouldn't be able to continue. So it's a very important block that's necessary to get over, isn't it?
Absolutely. And the government has pulled so much funding from them that they got to go back to their roots and understand how to raise funds for themselves. And they can do that with businesses because businesses want to work with them, but they don't respond to random letters in the post saying, give us money. It's more complex than that. So I'm empowering them to be able to talk to businesses in a sensible way, because they're very different organisations and they're not always very commercially aware. I mean, some are, don't get me wrong, some are brilliant at talking to business, but for those that, are less comfortable with that, that's how I help them to communicate to businesses for the best of both. For both, yeah.
Communication is important to you, as well as networking. Pat Duckworth was responsible for us connecting, and that network I spoke with a couple of days ago. That was a great conversation. You both were able to contribute to Hot Woman Rock, right?
Oh, Pat Duckworth, yes.
Yeah, she's amazing, isn't she?
I spoke to her this morning.
Oh, that's great.
She's wonderful.
That's wonderful. Now, there's something you said within our conversation that I'd like to build on, and you expressed a quote from Maya Angelou, which is, I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. Is that something you're still applying to who you are and your business?
Oh, my goodness, yes. I hope so. Yeah, something I encourage all my clients to do as well. Coaching is not about setting goals and key performance indicators and actually getting there. It's enabling people to step into who they authentically are, so that when they do meet with people, they are being truly themselves. So people can actually recognize who they are themselves in all their gloriousness. And if that's something that attracts people, then that's a good thing. You're going to attract the clients, the friends, the people you want in your life, because they are connecting with something which is authentically you. So it's about being, it's not about doing. We have this saying in CTI about the do. It's about the doing and the being.
I love that.
So who they're being, if you're being authentic and some people don't like you, well, that's fine. Not everybody likes everybody. We have a saying in England called be more Marmite. Do you know what Marmite is?
I do not.
Oh, it's like Vegemite. It's like a stuff you put on your toast, and it's a really strong flavour, and you either like it or you don't. There's no middle ground. You can't go, Marmite. You go, oh, it's disgusting. Or you go, yum. And so I try and encourage people to be more Marmite, be fully themselves, and then, you'll find your tribe, you'll find your people. People will understand you and get you in a way that is fulfilling.
When we last spoke at the age of 48, you encountered an experience where you became someone that was doing rowboating, right?
Rowing, sweep or rowing, absolutely. Yeah, and since then I've rowed in the British Rowing Indoor Championships in my age category, and I came fourth, so I didn't place, but I was very proud of myself for doing it. I've rowed the bumps every year since in Cambridge, and we won Blades, which is like the best you can do, 2 years running. Not so much this year. We're up in the first division now. So for somebody of 54, I'm doing all right.
You're doing great. And I am totally intrigued by the distance that's required. So it's not a sport that you get in there and it's a short sprint, even though you need to train for that as well. But the stamina that's necessary within coordination as a team, I think the principles there for applying them to business are many, right? Like
Absolutely.
we could have an entire day conversation on the principles for the team part of that, what goes in there.
There's 5 elements. I can't remember the guy who said this, but the 5 most important things in rowing, but also in anything if you want to tackle in your life, is skill, spirit, strength, stamina, and speed. But the most important thing of all of those is spirit.
That sounded like something the great said. He said of all of them, love is the most important. It sounded a bit like that when you spoke just now.
It does. Yeah, it does. This is a rowing coach, so this is specifically about rowing, but, I've got it actually stuck up on my wall here, and, I use that across. It does reflect into business. It reflects into nearly everything, but stamina is a big deal, particularly when you're rowing the Great Ouse Marathon, which is 22 kilometers.
Wow. Now, how has what you've been doing impacted your children? I'd like to know, Jill.
Oh, gosh, really good question. Well, I have a daughter who is living in Amsterdam, living her dream of being involved in the art world. I have another daughter who's just returned from 17 months traveling around the world.
Wow.
And she is retraining herself from psychology and customer service to become a data scientist. So, yeah, she's a clever girl. And I have a son who is at university now. And at 6'9", he plays big man in the basketball team.
Wow, 6'9". Wow.
Yes.
So how have you seen the coaching perspective impact them from a psychological view?
Well, any coach will tell you can't coach your children. You can't coach your children. But I hope I have given the wherewithal to be able to self-reflect, to go for it anyway, to overcome fears and do what they want to do. And they're certainly showing that at the moment.
Where is the best place can people connect to have a conversation with you, to find out more about what you do?
Well, they can have a look on the website, which is www.coachyu.co.uk, or link with me on LinkedIn. I'm Jill McCulloch. There's only one in that spelling in the UK, and that's MCCULLOCH. So there's only one of me,
Wow.
Jill with a J.
That works out well.
Yeah, and my contact details are on the LinkedIn account, and they're also on the website. So yeah, anybody wants to chat, give me a call.
That's great. There's something I saw in the logo of Coach You. There's like 5 variations of colors. Is that specifically done, or was that just an art thing?
It was specifically done, actually. I'm very keen on personal branding. People think logo is like the most important thing about the client. When they set up a business, they get a logo. Actually, there's so much more to do before you get there. You've got to know who you are, what you stand for, and what your values are. And those colours reflect my values, what that means to me. the colour for each of the values, but also they're colours that suit me really well. But it's also about, for me, it was about like a sunrise. So you've got that cool blue, you've got that nighttime blue, and those two colours are in my rowing kit because I row for Isle of Ely. And then there's the whole growth piece about the sunshine, so yellow and orange and red for impact, action, make it happen.
There's a conversation we've started opening up as you spoke about sunrise, and I remember the concept of sunset that goes with it, or death. How do you interact with that conversation? The conversation that it's possible that we can die today or tomorrow.
Ooh, I think it can be very useful. I think when we get to a certain age, that starts to become a reality. When you have friends your age who suddenly die. If anything, I think it allows you to look at every day as special and to think, I haven't got enough time to waste anymore. If I'm ever going to do that thing, I'm going to start it now and get on with it now. We've got this one life, this one chance, let's make it happen.
Love it. Jill, my friend, it's been such a great pleasure having this conversation with you, reconnecting, to hear that you are still doing what you set out to do, that you haven't given up, my friend. Well done, well done. Before we leave, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
Have a fantastic life. Do it on purpose. Don't let it happen to you. Get out there and you choose what you want to do. And make it happen, and make sure that you use that life to make a difference to someone else in the world.
To give us the gain, yeah?
Yeah.
Jill McCulloch, thank you for being on What is Inspired by 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones. This podcast is produced by Pod Edits. Visit podedits.com for professional podcast publishing.